Well, welcome to the Wise Old, not old, Wise Old Ones. And we're here coming to you direct from Tenerife, and the sun is shining down upon us.
And I was having a wonderful time when I got here. I think I was having a bit of honour to myself.
Yeah.
And guess what? Mary turned up the following day. No announcement, nothing. Hiya, she goes. Anyway, so we decided we'd take the opportunity and we would actually do one of our podcasts here.
Yeah.
Now, today, you're in for a real treat because we have an amazing, and I mean amazing,
Correct.
fashion guru and world traveller. But particularly, she is an absolute expert on Tenerife. So any of you out there who haven't been to Tenerife or who have been to Tenerife really want to know where to go, what to do, this is the lady. So over to you, Sandra Dwyer. Welcome and thank you for coming on our podcast.
Thank you very much, Grace, and thank you both for having me here. I'm extremely nervous.
Well, listen, we would normally have cups of tea,
Yes.
as you know,
Yes.
but because we're in the sunshine, we're having a few bubbles.
Cheers to all you.
Cheers,
clothes,
guys.
right?
Thank you.
Holidays, you're more than
So,
welcome.
how long have you actually lived in? I know you don't live full time, but how long have you been coming to Tenerife?
So we originally came to Tenerife in 2003
Oh wow!
for week's holidays,
Mm-hmm.
and absolutely fell in love with the place. Came back for a couple of weeks, had a look in the local newspaper, which is called Canary Weekly,
Yes.
and saw that you could long-term holiday let here. So we looked at holiday letting for a month the following year, came back, landed in this amazing complex here called Palo Blanco, and came back ever since, and then decided in 2008 to buy a property over here, and
Wow.
we've been coming back and forth since. Our two kids have grown up here in the summers and in the winters and on their school holidays coming over, and have just met an amazing community of people over here. Since we've been here, we've got there's Irish, there's English, there's every single nationality come on holidays here, and there's something for everyone. Very family orientated. You have amazing beaches, you have amazing water sports, you have amazing water parks, jungle parks, laurel parks, a little bit for everyone. But it's such an amazing island. There's so much to see and do that down here in the south it's slightly more tourist orientated.
Yeah.
But as you travel up north and you go over the back of Mount Tatey, you have a slightly different climate, so it's cooler up there. And it's a city where you have trams and buses and trains and
Wow.
much more commercialised
Yeah.
and more, I suppose, less tourist as such than here. But it's a city living up there as such,
Right,
you
I know
know.
what you're saying.
Yeah, I've been up the north.
You've been up.
Yeah, and it is colder. It's greener as well.
Yes.
It's like going
Okay.
into Dublin.
Right.
No, Ireland,
Then
and
gone
you
up
see
to
all the green.
Wicklow. Yeah.
But it is beautiful, and
Mhm.
I've known Sandra now 5 years nearly,
Years, yeah.
and I've been coming over as well, and Tom met her.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
but they are a great family, and she walks down the streets, ladies and gentlemen. She walks down the streets, and she's like the Mayoress.
Oh yeah.
Everyone
Mayoress
knows
of
her.
Tenerife. Everybody
Everyone.
knows her. Everybody. We went out last night because Mary was singing, and Danielle, Jer, Reggie's daughter, was singing.
Yes.
Jer didn't sing, which really disappointed
Yes,
me.
disappointed me as
But,
well. Yes.
Danielle, beautiful singers. And well, we just had an amazing night. However, when we walked in there, and we did walk in with Sandra,
Yeah.
because we went out for a bite to eat, and we walked in with Sandra, and then she just completely disappeared. Right?
That's
And there
true.
were people almost queuing up to give her a hug. How are you? So that'll tell you how many people she actually knows on this island. Are there any particular restaurants that you would strongly recommend?
Oh, there are some superb restaurants. You have, in particular, there's a group of restaurants, and it's called the Venture Group,
Right.
which you can download on your phone on the Venture app, and they have a massive selection of restaurants. Everything from kind of street food and Dados right up to Michelin star restaurants.
Wow.
In the Safari Centre, they have Bianco, which is Italian. They have Imperial Taipan, which is type of Chinese food. You have British Empire, modern British food. Then you have Thai Botanical. So that's literally just in that complex above the Safari Centre in Las Americas. Then they have Kenzie, which is Japanese. You go down into La Caleta, which is a beautiful fishing village about 5 kilometres down the road from here.
Yeah.
And they have Lagarto, they have Char, which is a steakhouse. They have 88, which is sushi. It's just, they have everything there.
Yeah.
And if you download the app, you can book your restaurant. You can have a look at all of the menus. They do bottomless brunch specials.
Right.
So you can book a bottomless brunch for 2 hours for €29 a person, and you have starter, main courses, and unlimited wine and cava cocktails and cava and beers and minerals and spirits. Along the seafront, you have an excellent restaurant called Mishi Sushi, which is a teppanyaki grill that you sit around, and the chef is in front of you. He cooks all of your food. He sets the food on fire, and it's a lovely display, and it's a happy family night to go to and have, which is gorgeous. Then there are some amazing restaurants that are out of the town a little bit, up the mountains, and in particular, the other night we went up to an amazing restaurant called Finca Tre Roccas, which is built on a finca, and they grow all their own produce, and they cook the food seasonally according to what they're making.
They're growing.
Now it's much cooler up there at night time. So if you're going up at this time of year, you need a jacket in the evening time, because it literally was 6 degrees the other night. And you're looking out, seeing all the stars sitting around and setting at night time. Also, you have a fabulous restaurant across from us here called the Embassy Restaurant.
I love that restaurant. We always seem to end up there the night we arrive because it's so close by. And I'm going to tell you, there's a salad they call the Embassy salad. It is to die for, and there's plenty in it. You don't need anything else. Maybe a side order of chips, because I'm a chip fanatic. But now, apart from the fact that she really should be paid by the local commerce group or the local council, whatever they have here, for being an amazing representative and selling Tenerife to the tourists. Amazing. You are really, and you should get paid for it. But she's also a fashion guru, as you can see. Right? And now everything that she puts on, believe you me, it's beautiful, right? It's colourful, it's different. She has a great way of matching things up, and we're all hoping that she will become our dresser.
Yes.
So if you want her personal details after the show, just email us and we will let you have her personal details, because I wouldn't think she's too expensive. She hasn't actually started that.
Yes, I see yet.
But I'm telling you now, it would be fantastic. Now, I also understand, okay, we'll move away from Tenerife just for a few minutes, we'll come back to it. I also Sandra's also a world traveller, and one thing that you do a lot of is cruises.
That's right.
She's filthy rich. It's cruises, and so I know that you've done a lot of cruises.
We've done a lot of cruises. We've done about 19 cruises. Wow. Yeah, it started off a long time ago on a really small cruise ship, which was our first cruise ship, which we thought was ginormous because we hadn't ever done a cruise previous to that, and fell in love with it. And straight away, Joe was looking online, or actually at the time it was the Sunday newspapers at the time, and you could see all the cruises advertised on that, and teletext TV. You could go on. You remember when teletext was there? You got to so teletext TV, and looking at the cruises, and booked the biggest ship at the time, which was Royal Caribbean, and went on those, and just got hooked. And we went to various different islands in the Caribbean, and Mary, you've been on cruises with us, and I know you've been on cruises as well yourself. One cruise last year.
I've been on cruises, and I've been on with Sandra and husband Joe, and we've had the best
crack.
And the beautiful places. Now, a lot of the times when they stop when they dock in, we've only seen the harbour line part, but they do tours. They do day trips, But I loved it. I loved the cruise.
But you were working as well, weren't you, Mary?
Oh, that was a different cruise. That was the Gertrude Byrne cruise.
Oh, excuse me.
We went on cruises ourselves, myself, Sandra, Joe, and Kathleen.
Right.
And we've done, I think we've done 2. Was it 2?
We've done two.
I can't remember, but we've had a great time.
Brilliant.
The one thing I wanted to know was, you know, when you're on the cruises, there's always the doors are decorated, right? And we were trying. The doors of the cabins. And we actually thought it was just for Halloween.
Okay.
But on one particular cabin, I remember seeing a pineapple.
Right.
And we didn't know what it was for at first, but Sandra has since found out what it is. And I was wondering, she didn't it was done that way.
Okay.
You know, well, she knows an awful lot about it.
Okay.
Could you explain to her listeners?
So what's the upside down pineapple? Is it upside down?
Oh, there's loads of sideways.
So could you explain what that is?
So you're 100% right. The cabins get decorated, and obviously some of the kids put their stuff up in the cabins. And you're looking at all the decorations. And sometimes when you're going back to your cabin and you're on the wrong floor, and you're on the wrong side of the ship, and you're at the wrong end of the ship, and it takes you another half an hour to get to your room, and you're looking at all these cabins being decorated. So we just came off a cruise recently, and I was reading an article, and the article said that we were looking at these pineapples, these upside down pineapples on the different cabins, and I went into the article and read it. Apparently, if there's an upside down pineapple on your door, it means that you're a swinger.
Ooh.
Man, no, the next time I see a pineapple on board.
Yeah. So, if the pineapple is to the side...
This or because you did it.
Oh, I couldn't do that now. I was definitely reading.
Right. Uh-huh.
And if the pineapple is to the side, it means that you can go in, right?
Okay.
If the pineapple is straight up, it means that they're exhausted.
They're busy.
No, they're recovering.
Yes. No, the upside down means they're busy.
All right.
Yeah. That sideways says you can come in and wait.
Okay.
Also, there are themed cruises that you can go on, as well as having the swinging cruises that you can go on. No.
So what's the cruise line on
All the cruises have different events where they have swinging cruises. Now, I'm just wondering, what happens if you're working, you're 19 or 20 and you go to work on board a cruise ship as, a waitress or a bar person, and suddenly, 3 times a year, you have a swinging cruise coming on board. What do you do then as a young one? Or an older person?
Exactly.
Are you kind of going, how are your hobbies? What are you kind of doing? Are you going, oh my God.
I did see a program on swinging once on the telly. Yeah, they were showing, and there was all shapes and sizes. And there was a woman there, and she was 62, and she has been doing it since she was a young girl. Now, she didn't get anyone near her, but she joined in. She just watched them all doing it. And I just thought that was fascinating. That, you could have the courage to stand there and watch.
Yeah.
So it was weird.
I don't think that would appeal to me. Yeah. That really wouldn't appeal.
No, it wouldn't appeal to me either.
You see, she should be on the show so we can ask her.
I know.
Why did she get anybody? 62 is not an age where you shouldn't be getting anybody.
She was a large lady.
No age, exactly. Now, my husband did say, for the next cruise we're going on, he's ordered a whole load of pineapple magnets. And he's just going to go around and randomly put them on other people's doors.
That sounds like Joe. I have to say, that does sound like Joe. Yeah.
Oh, God. Just for the listeners, if you hear children running up and down noise, it's the children that live in the complex, and they are out on their summer. It's Sunday, and they're on
they're enjoying themselves. Yeah.
So apologise for any noise you're hearing.
No, that's okay. It's background noise, guys. It's life, life in Tenerife. Yeah. And so how long would you stay any given time?
Well, the longest we stayed here was in COVID. So obviously in Ireland, everything had shut down, and myself and Joe were chatting, and we kind of said, because we have a house here, and because the kids weren't working, nobody was working at home at the time. Now, my husband was working, but he had been talking about semi-retiring, and we didn't know whether we would work remotely or not. And I said, let's go and let's give it a go and see if it does work. So I came over in January of 2021. And Joe followed out a couple of weeks later, thinking that he would probably be here until mid-March. He didn't go home until July. It was September before I went home. So the longest amount I spent here was from January 21 to September of 21, where I met Mary, Kathy, and a big gang of people that were here. Now, COVID life was amazing over here.
Yeah.
The place was shut down, but you woke up every day and the sun was shining. There were a few bars and restaurants that were open, so you could still go out in the morning. You could go for a walk. Most mornings I'd go and I would walk to La Caleta and back. However, if I'd see 4 people in the whole walk around the resort, it was a lot,
It was very strict over here.
Very strict. There was a 6 o'clock lockdown here. You had to be in bed at 6, or you had to be in at 6, not in bed at 6. And then it moved to 10 o'clock. And then it changed after that, and slowly it opened up again, and it came back to the normal way of life here, really, as such. But other than that, I would spend Sometimes I could pop over for a weekend. I could pop over on a Friday to a Sunday if the flights are cheap and the weather at home is kind of rotten. You just go, right, let's go.
Flight-wise, were you separated, or was there as many people on the flights that they normally take?
Oh, you were separated in COVID. No, but there were very few people on the flights anyway, because they were only letting people fly out of the country who had places here or who had apparently dental appointments or who were buying properties here.
Okay,
gotcha. I've coming over to do the singing because we had no work at all during lockdown. And so I got a letter from the Temple Bar, a friend of ours who owns it, sent a letter to me. And as I was coming through the airport, it was very, very scary. And the policeman stopped me, and I had my mask on, he had his mask on. And I showed him the letter that I was coming over to walk. And I nearly died when he turned around and said, "Mary, enjoy your holiday." Well, genuinely, doing a singing over here.
Exactly.
But it was lovely. It was like we owned the island. We were the only people on the island. That's what it felt like.
I know.
And it was lovely. And it was so sad what's happened back home.
Yeah.
And I was there for the whole year, the first lockdown, and then we just came over here then.
But what a way to spend COVID.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, for us, it was, the first lockdown was kind of, it was almost like great opportunity. And I'm thinking, I can really clean this house, and I did.
Yeah.
And my house was so clean, you could eat off the floor. There were days you couldn't eat off my table. You could eat off the floor. It was absolutely spotless. Second lockdown, I thought, no. I'm not clean. I'm not clean. And I would go for a walk, and I would do all the things I wanted to do. But we could only walk 2 kilometres, right? And I always loved to do about an 8 to 10 kilometre walk a day. And so I'd have to do 2 kilometres that way too. And it's just ridiculous. And the less you were able to do, the less you wanted to do it.
Yeah. Well, I remember the first lockdown. I walked Ballyfermot, staying in wherever I could stay. But I would walk for over an hour and a half. I lost 2.5 stone in just about 2 months.
Wow.
Just by getting up and going and walking it. The weather was beautiful. People were suffering. I know that.
Yeah.
But we were trying to keep ourselves safe. So I would walk, and I'd have my mask on. I'd walk around the place. I'd sit down in places. 2.5 stone. It was unbelievable. It was like the earth had stopped and was revamping itself back.
Yeah, well, they do say it was like
no airplanes.
It was rebooting.
Yeah, it was.
It was like the world was rebooting itself, and I don't know whether it's fully rebooted or not.
I don't know.
No.
Sorry to cut.
No,
just speaking like that. And in the first lockdown, we were at home also, and we live in Passage West, and it was so quiet that Photo Wildlife Park across from us, we could hear the monkeys every morning.
Oh my God!
Screeching in the morning time. Yeah. Now we never heard it since, but all through lockdown, you could hear the monkeys every single morning and being fed during the daytime because there wasn't a car.
There wasn't a sound.
There wasn't a sound.
I have to say, it was the same for us. It was the birds in the morning, and in Dublin, they used to cough before COVID. But now they were kind of
they were. You'd get up in the morning, funny enough, and talking about the birds.
Yeah.
My back garden, there was cats all over our back garden, not our garden, other gardens. But the birds seemed to take over everything.
Yes.
Especially the magpies.
Yes.
They used to come in and you could hear all the little birds and the baby birds whistling.
Yes.
It was absolutely gorgeous. And it just showed, for me, what it showed was what the earth was like when people weren't.
Before they interfered with it.
Yeah.
And it was a lovely reminder of it isn't a bad thing just to stop.
Just stop, yes.
For everything to stop.
Yeah.
For man's inhumanity.
Yes, correct.
Stop.
Correct.
And just literally take a breath. And I think, the world took a deep breath. Actually, it wasn't long. Now I'm going to talk myself into another fucking lockdown.
I know, yeah.
So you can edit that. Yeah.
Danny.
I think you need to stick to the tea.
And I think we will actually stick to the tea in future. I can get very verbal, and I shouldn't. You see, I have to admit that this wasn't my first choice. It was theirs. I thought I had finished the bottle, but I hadn't.
You're on holidays.
Exactly.
I'm on holidays. Yeah. So what advice would you give to a traveller coming over, if any?
Okay, so I would say have a look around at what you think you want. If you're coming as a family, where you want to be located.
Yeah.
You don't want to be above in the Veronicas where all the young people are, because it's party town there.
Yes,
It's too go. You want to be somewhere that's family orientated. If you've young kids, do you want to be in a hotel where there's apartments or there's kids clubs that you can relax by the pool?
Yeah.
Because you know yourself, if you've got young kids, right, and they meet a friend by the pool on the first day, your holiday is made.
Yeah.
Once they're happy,
Yeah.
the parents are happy.
Yeah, of course they are.
But if you're going into private accommodation in residential complexes, it's much quieter. You're not going to have that hire. But check it out. Have a look at your car hire if you're confident in driving.
Yes.
It is a beautiful island to drive around. There is so much to take in, to see and to do. If there's large numbers of you, you will have to book your restaurants in advance, because it is very hard to get into. And this time of year in particular is very, very busy, right up until about April, because you have a lot of people who want to spend time in the sun rather than in the winter at home. Enjoy every part of it. There's an amazing walk around here called Siam Park. Aqualand is fantastic for smaller kids, for the dolphin show.
You've got monkey villages,
Monkey Park, Jungle Park. You can go up and you could do the cable car in Mount Haiti. There's something for everybody and every age group here. And the costing is from everything. You can spend as little or spend as much as you want to. You know, that some of the most of the restaurants, you can get a 3-course meal for €14 or €15 over here. You can then go and spend €400 if you want to. You know, so take in your budget. I would say take one out, splurge out, have a nice meal. It's still going to be cheaper than what you're paying now. You know?
Of course it is.
I think choosing the areas, especially for children. The likes of up where we are in San Eugenio, which is it's right beside Little Las Americas. But it also has a quality about it where the children you feel more safer with the children. You're quieter, and you can stroll down the hill, and you're into the madness of it all. And it's brilliant. It is. It's brilliant.
I mean, a complex like we're in at the moment is in the middle of all of that, but you'd never think it, because it is so quiet. But you walk out, apart from the kids. Kids will be kids. I'm going to drown you now. Kids will be kids, right? So what I'm saying now is this is ideal. For me, it's ideal because I love the peace and quiet, but then I love going out to the hustle and the bustle. I love the fact that I can walk out that gate and I can turn left and I can be sitting in coconut bar, having my
or the temple,
or the regular, or the beer garden, and and the supermarkets are just around the corner. So everything I want is there, and and I can stay here all day by the pool if I want to, or I can stroll down. It takes me about 10-15 minutes to stroll down to the beach and stay there for the day. It is absolutely. I would highly recommend a trip if you're of a mind to come to Tenerife. And so really, I think we've exhausted Tenerife.
Yes, we have. We've exhausted. So don't forget to subscribe to us. It's free.
Yes.
Make sure you do, because we need to put it out into the wide world of the wise
ones. And do you know the email?
I don't know the email. That's where I need Kathy. I think
I think it's called. No idea.
No, it's no.
We'll put it in our next one. Or you know what? Daddy can actually put that in. Is that okay?
You can,
just add a little bit of your voice.
But if you subscribe, you will see it. You'll find it, and you look for the YSL ones. You'll see me and this beautiful lady,
the email address,
and you'll see the email address and the whole lot on that. And we're so sorry that we don't have it. But you know, when you're having this and you're in this,
absolutely,
your memory just goes.
Fashion girl, anybody who wants a dresser, don't look any further than Sandra Dwyer, who is Cork-based, by the way. Now, she's hardly ever there, but having said that, she's Cork-based and she has some amazing ideas. So, you know, I love her.
And if you want to know about swinging,
that's not going to suit you.
No.
That's that's the colour you need.
My motto is don't go shopping with Sandra. Don't go shopping with Sandra. Because I am spending the fortune, but I do look great, but it's when I'm putting gears.
So it's goodbye from me, and it's goodbye. Say goodbye.
Bye, Mary. Thank
And
you.
Sandra,
Goodbye, guys, and thank you so much, girls, for having me.
It's been a pleasure.
absolute pleasure.
It's been a
Thank you.
Thank you.